now give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation.
Thank you, Mr. President. We thank the Under-Secretary General Jean-Pierre Lacroix and also the Special Envoy, Mr. Nicholas Haysom, for the detailed information on the situation in South Sudan and the progress in the South Sudanese political settlement. I'd also like to take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Haysom for the work that he has done, and also to congratulate him on his new post and to wish him every success in his work in his new post. We also listened with interest to the report of the Special Representative Mr. Ismail Weiss and to Ms. Grace John. The Russian Federation's consistent position has been that the guarantee for stabilization of the situation in South Sudan is a sustainable ceasefire and the launching of an inclusive process of national reconciliation. We therefore welcome the signing on the 12th of September of a revitalized peace agreement between the parties to the conflict in South Sudan. We hope that nobody will doubt the breakthrough that these agreements reached in Addis Ababa represent. We agree that they do require further substantive detail, but this certainly doesn't lessen their significance. It is important that the South Sudanese parties demonstrated their readiness to achieve compromise, and also that they endeavour to regulate their discord through peaceful means. Mr. President, we pay tribute to the effective coordinating efforts of IGAD, which have enabled the process of revitalizing the South Sudanese peace agreement to be resolved successfully. We also note that regional players have spent more than a year in painstaking fashion bringing the positions of the parties together. It was the countries of the region, indeed, who were able to begin the negotiation process from scratch at times when the South Sudanese leaders, when they couldn't even be brought together around the negotiating table. It was indeed IGAD that didn't end its efforts when many of those in this very room had, in practical terms, lost hope and had written off the process of revitalization. We note the unity of approach demonstrated by regional players towards the South Sudanese settlement, and we encourage them to maintain that approach for the further support for the peace process. We welcome the efforts of the guarantors to the agreement to provide assistance to the realization or the implementation of the peace agreement by presenting the national contingents or national forces of Sudan, Uganda, Djibouti and Somalia as part of the regional protection force. We see this as a practical implementation of the principle of African solutions for African problems, and also the opportunity for effective cooperation between the United Nations and its Security Council and regional organizations. We are ready to consider substantive proposals from IGAD with regard to the Regional Protection Force. We encourage the South Sudanese politicians to demonstrate goodwill when implementing the revitalized agreement. Mr. President, despite the clear positive trends, we also note, including in this hall, encouragement of the idea of broadening sanctions on South Sudan. Therefore, I would like once again to recall our position on this issue. As previously, we think that excessive pressure applied through sanctions might entrench the positions of the South Sudanese parties and might give them the wrong signals. The result might be the reverse of what is desired, and the parties will make use not of a negotiation process but will count on a military solution. This certainly would make it more difficult to achieve a peace settlement. Finally, in principle, we cannot accept a situation when instead of a serious political and diplomatic piece of work, what is seen as attempts to make wrong use of the sanctions regime of the Security Council. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation for his statement.